Morning, guys. Welcome back to Simple Acre Homestead. I brought you out with me this morning just because I decided I was going to try using some of these feeder bucket attachments that for chickens and ducks and things like that. So they just go on a pail of whatever type of pail you'd like, or a tote, to allow you to feed more at one time. Not so much that the chickens eat more at one time, so that you don't have to feed them necessarily, say, that afternoon if you're going away. And that is something we were kind of looking for. So we've got various types of feeders here, but this will be the first time we tried this style. Now, I did build one yesterday because I bought enough for two. So I've already got one out with the chickens. I'm going to get this other one put together because we're happy with it. The one coop that currently has one, I can fill the pail, and they've got food now for 2 days, which when we actually looked at the volume they ate, it was no different than what we fed them. So they're not overeating. It also tells me that we were feeding the appropriate amount. But hopefully this way they actually waste less, because I'm not just throwing it out in the ground or throwing it on a feeder and they're scratching it and throwing it around. It's in the pail, it's contained, and I'll show you that in a while. So I got these off of Amazon. They came with the whole bit and some simple instructions. So I'm just going to quickly put this one together. I'm just putting 4 on this pail. This is going to be for my other coop I have. And we'll get this in play here. So very quickly, in case you decide you want to do this, if you're thinking about doing this, I'll just show you how simple it is. So in this case, I'm just going to use this bucket. I've got a marker. I need to mark, because I have 4 of these left, I need to mark 4 spots, 3 inches up. Now, they don't have to be super even, because, I mean, the chickens aren't going to care if they're side by side or whatever. I mean, I prefer a certain amount of uniformity so it doesn't drive my OCD a little crazy. But, so what do we got? Right there, and this should be pretty close. All right, grab that lid. And I'm going to drill these holes. Okay, it was that simple. I take the cutoffs out and just take something to get the burrs off of that cut. You can take a file or whatever you want. I don't think it has to be too fancy. I want to make sure that there's nothing falling in there. But the point of me doing this on the outside is because there is a gasket, and I will show you, to keep the condensation from seeping in behind. All right, so my first one here, there's the washer I was telling you about. So these go in this way inside the pail, so the opening is straight on the outside. So the idea is the bird can put their head in, and the feed falls down and around. So we'll put this one on. But first, I have to, first I put this in. So just like so, I get this washer started on the threads. And then I can put the nut on, the plastic nut, And just tighten this up. So you want to get it tight enough that it's going to seal that gasket. Now it is just plastic, so I mean, you don't want to over tighten because that won't work as well. So there's one. Again, put the gasket on it. The further you can get that gasket on, the easier it's going to be to thread this, because it also catches and kind of holds it out. As you can see, that's what's happening here. The more threads exposed, the better this can get a hold of it. Now, if you happen to be using a square pail or a tote, you'll have an easier time because you're dealing with a flat surface. But this, there we go. It's a little tricky to get it started. You want to make sure you're holding it straight so the threads can grab. There. Yeah. One left. So, as you can see from what I'm doing here, this is a pretty simple thing to put together if you've already got the container. So instead of buying the whole, more costly feeder basically already put together with these attachments, you can just buy the attachments and make your own for a fraction of the cost. Okay, so one thing I want to point out too with these feeders is they do come with these little stoppers. So the idea is, and what they advertise is, these are to make it so when you put your chickens in for the night or whatever, you come along and you stick these in the hole, and it's supposed to keep out the rodents and maybe the little birds or stuff that are flying around. All right, guys, so now that I've got this together, you can see that washer kind of seals it right around, even though it's not a flat surface. So it gives it a seal there. I'm going to install these stoppers. Now you gotta be careful. I have noticed if you push too hard, it goes in quite a ways. You don't want to have to struggle to get them in and out. Just lightly put it in. And now, I'm just gonna move my tools. Now I can take this pail and fill it up with feed. I can throw a lid on it and it's all set. Now it's all set to go. I can take it out, put it in the coop. If you have one coop, you can just, like when I bought that on Amazon, I bought a pack with 8 in it. So technically I could have 2 pails. I just keep switching out every 2 days. Your laying hens, for the most part, unless there's something different, unless there's something about that particular hen, they shouldn't overeat. If you read up on it, most of the time they always say the hens know when to stop eating. And that was something I was curious about, because we always measured the food based on how many chickens we had. This, when we put it out there, they basically ate what we were giving them normally. So I'm happy about that. We're not going to spend more money on feed, and they're obviously getting what they need. And this way, instead of racing all at one time to eat, because the food is there and everybody's swarming for it, now this slows them down a bit, because they can only a couple of them at a time. Now the rest will eat around it, and I'll show you this. But this gives them food all day long. So if one can't get to it right away, it's going to get in there later. It's going to get its turn. So, all right, guys, I'll take you for a walk and I'll show you this. All right, guys, so this coop does not have one of these yet, so I'm going to bring this out. They've already ate today, so they're not going to be starving, even though they always act like they want treats. But they suggest putting these pails about 3 inches off the ground. So I'm going to use this landscaping brick. And you can see how quickly these chickens will catch on. They have never had one of these before. But if you watch, they will know. They will just go right to it. And whatever spills, the others will grab as they wait their turn. Anyway, guys, that's it for this morning. I just thought I'd quickly, since I had to get this done, I'd show you what it was like to put one together yourself. And now, hey, go ahead, order one, try it out. For $15, you can make your own large feeder for a fraction of the cost of buying something in the store. We'll catch you next time, guys. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, follow the channel, and we'll see you next time.